There we go. First game is up, and it's gonna be played on a preset map that is actually called Great Lakes. It's from the ultra random map set, and it's looking like that. You are actually having a big pond in the middle, so in that way it's kind of similar to, for example, Baltic or Mediterranean, but it's also having kind of branches on the right side with a bit of channels in there, and they are both on both sides having one shallows. You can see shallows in there for the passing on the left side as well, and that is something that can definitely be used if you don't want to really fight for the water all that much. But kinda you want the boost from all the deep fishies in the middle, so I'm kinda expecting that everybody should be coming for the fishies, but maybe if somebody doesn't feel all that comfortable on the map as far as water battle goes, they might be actually trying to somehow switch into the land and advance as fast as possible through that. Let's see how that goes. So basically this map is kind of a combination of, as I said, Baltic, Medit and Salt Marsh. Salt Marsh is kind of similar with all those channels, the shallows and whatnot, as you're having a bit of a pause, and the civilizations are gonna be, right off the bat, quite interesting and a bit different. We are looking at Stefan playing Hans, of course, in here. Aramis is gonna be Viking in the middle. It's actually a pretty good position for him. As on the left side is gonna be Maxi as Celt. And Celts, that's a very interesting choice. I'm kinda curious what's gonna happen. I'm kinda thinking it might be because of the siege of another 4 onagers a bit later, that he actually hopes that he can be controlling the channel even a bit later if they lose the water. Kinda thinking that's gonna be something like that behind this idea. As for the opponents, they are playing something fairly standard: Vikings, Mongols and Huns, so not really all that much of a surprise, going for normal water battle I'm expecting, and then seeing how it actually goes from there. Both teams are gonna be on their respective sides, and their respective sides in there, and we're gonna be looking around for something fairly normal. You can see min 950, or rather 950, what? The crossing, full water, fuel. Okay, so it's almost looking like that actually Argentinians are gonna be coming for full water, which makes plenty of sense because Argentinians are known as basically water experts. They are definitely expected to play islands as their home map, so yeah, they will be trying to fight for this from the water. Whereas the opponents are kinda opposite, because their home map, if I had to guess, is gonna be Black Forest. That's a map they have played quite a lot, especially against good clans. So I'm really expecting that this is gonna be a bit of a clash between water and land clan, and let's see who's gonna be dealing with the situation better. Otherwise, there's gonna be, of course, a second set map if we are gonna be getting through the home maps and nobody's gonna be 3-0 in the match, aka sweeping, and that will be Ontario, which is something like, if you remember from Nations Cup, Twin Paddles. So basically it's land map, but you are having in 2 corners, you're having the water. So, depending on how the map spawns, sometimes it can be basically a fight between 2 players, or sometimes it can be basically just a bonus for the pocket. Yeah, it kinda depends how it spawns, but it's very similar to the Nations Cup map, so plenty of players should be familiar with that setup. So water, of course, coming up. This is gonna be, of course, quite aggressive water as well, because everybody is forced to go for the docks into the middle, not really any kind of bad docks, back docks or whatever. So that's not gonna be happening at all, and I'm kinda curious if maybe somebody is gonna be placing a dock into the channel, because when you look at it, there are actually plenty of shorefish in here, as you can see. They are not really in small numbers, so I'm expecting that even a dock about here could be still viable for normal advance into the fuel age. But of course you would be wanting to go somewhere in the middle. Oh well, the Wolfie might be a bit of an issue if he doesn't have Fulum, which he doesn't. But of course he does have the Scout Cavalry in there, so that's gonna be probably helping with the Wolfie, as he did scout it, and might right now I want to actually wait a bit. Come on, this could be interesting. Oh, she stopped in there, but yeah, the scout is still quite nearby, so it's not really gonna be all that much of an issue. This is, of course, a light scout, so not really any kind of issue in the end. Potentially could have been a problem if this yellow scout, where is he? Right now, trying to find him, was in there. That could have been nice, but yeah, well, was a bit risky without the loom, but it worked out. 7 hit points, still plenty enough alive. 1 hit point is still alive in this game. Otherwise, how's it looking, for example, with the gold placement or whatever? It seems that everything is gonna be quite fine. Nothing so far too close to the water or anything. So I'm expecting that's gonna be fine for everybody. You can see plenty of gold everywhere. And this is, of course, gonna be quite a nice late game map, because you could be expecting everybody to just basically make use of the backs. This is gonna be probably fairly nice at this point for actually RFRs, but at the same time the trade route seems to be a whole lot better for the opponents because they're very far from the water. You can see on the right side the branch of the water is quite far away, so this is gonna be fairly protected, and really this is a nice bonus. If it wasn't for this cliff, that's gonna be sucky, probably making for some problems for pathing of the trade cards, but in the end, yeah, it's still not that much of an issue, and I'm kinda expecting that there could be a bit of a fight between the scouts. These are full health, this one is kinda half health, so he could be potentially abused in there. As the village is moving forward, and what is he actually going for? Probably second dog, as we are already getting into the few villages at about 20 villages apiece, everybody. Just the Celt apparently gonna be coming at 19, yes. So is Spaden as the Mongol, so yeah, everything going fairly normalish. Not any kind of issue, just interestingly enough, you can see Philosopher aka Bullet come in with 21 villages. A bit later, the latest into the feudal age. So is he gonna be having quite nice game in there or not? I'm not entirely certain, but he already is. Oh, okay. That is a bit of fun attempted. He was actually trying to do something interesting. Maybe some kind of trash. This is definitely possible because of the shallows. And because, for some absolutely obscure reason, Maxi didn't wall yet. Well, he's probably gonna rectify the problem. Yes, he will. Yes, he definitely will. But otherwise, on the right side, I just right now need to wait for the Ruby announcement to go off. Yes, it is off. And I can look there and... really? Nobody wall in here. Come on. Like, seriously? I know it's not easy because of how it spawned. It's gonna be a bit difficult at a kind of long wall. And definitely kinda scary for both Dark Device and of course this opponent Stefan as well. Because this could be somehow abused by either side. But yeah, well... Could be still some kind of attempt to wall this, but so far not, and this is definitely looking that it could be quite big danger if either of the players is actually gonna be using it properly. But so far they seem to be quite concentrating on the water. You can see nothing really suggesting that, for example, Dark Device would be coming for the land battle, as of course we're gonna be looking somewhere else where the first water battles are gonna be happening. For example, right now on the left side, where already Orange is advancing forward, trying to, of course, get on Philosopher aka Bullet, because he was quite slow with the advance, but oh well, he's gonna be using this, he's gonna be using the branch to basically hide the dogs a bit. That's actually not a bad idea at all, giving him some extra time, as he doesn't need to somehow worry about those first few boats. But is his stronger economy gonna be kicking off his game into some higher gear? I'm not entirely certain. To be honest, I'm not exactly sure how good cells are on water. I'm expecting not much, because they are really not played on the water, so there has to be a plan for arcs to basically use them in some way on the land battle, and basically the only way I can expect is some kind of siege, and basically controlling this part of the map through basically siege managers, something like that. That could be working I'm expecting. That scout in there, interesting. Interesting placement, to be honest, in here. I'm not entirely certain which scout it was, it's not really all that apparent, as we're gonna be moving on the right side between Stefan and Aramis. And also, there is of course Dark Device as well, and finally the walling is coming up here. So the first is gonna be Dark Device, but since it's spawned this way, oh well, Stefan is apparently not gonna be walling, that's a problem for him of course. And there is another dead guy, so apparently there's a dead villager, which I'm expecting is gonna be basically the 7 hit point villager that was built in the first dog, and that has been probably killed by Dark Device's scout. So that's one villager down for Ark, aka Stefan Ark, of course. And well, this is probably gonna be full in power so far of RFRs on the right side, and definitely assistance is quite needed from Aramis in the pocket position. He is the Viking, so he should be the most important in the battle. And since Dark Device is also the Viking, yeah, you would be expecting that this is gonna be where the 2v2 is gonna happen, due to how the map spawned. On the left side is of course gonna be full on 1v1 between Philosopher aka Bullet and Maxi, which so far seems to be coming quite convincingly for Maxi, even though Bullet is basically waiting for the correct placement. Fortunately, his attempt to surprise his opponent on the left, it did not work, but what could still somehow work would be some kind of hidden transport boat, which is right now probably gonna be a bit too late, unless he's able to force those away for a bit of a surprise. As yeah, I'm definitely waiting for this game to be somehow decided by some sneaky landing, either in here, in like basically the topest corner, or basically on the other side of the map the same, as this is quite easily traversable, and if somebody is not gonna be paying enough attention, that could be leading to a very deadly landing. In the meantime, that's gonna be another villager dead for Stefan. This is looking definitely quite scary, and basically looking like that Dark Device wants to keep this open, which kind of makes sense, and might be really opening an opportunity, for example, for his teammate in the pocket like Spaden, because he's playing the Mongols, to get there faster with some scout cavalry if he's actually having enough of the fight on the water. But so far he's quite heavily invested into that, as is absolutely everybody else so far. Well, on the left, this is probably gonna be a problem for RFRs very soon, because Maxi is, yeah, well, there's not really all that much of a doubt how this is going, even though it could be turning soon if he underestimates the position, if he didn't notice this, which could be happening. There are plenty boats still ready from Bullet, so he's taking things a bit slowly and really using very cleverly how the map is. And, well, still there's gonna be plenty of fight, and especially since this is like big pond and everybody can be helping everyone. This game is on the water is not gonna be over until all three are gone. And since on the right flank we could be thinking that actually Run Forest Run are kind of winning, they're definitely not losing, that's for sure. Right now it's gonna be challenging my claim on winning actually with all the Stefan boats in here. As green is unfortunately got off position, and this is exactly what you want to do on a small pond like this. It's gonna be a lot harder, but yeah, 2 versus 1s, that's exactly what wins water battles. But oh, careful, right now arcs are kinda getting close to actually falling for that, and right now it's switching exactly on the other side as well. With yellow, this is weird. This was actually a duo of very weird decisions. First, Dark Device not really coming back, when he should have known that Spaden was getting kinda double. And at the same time, Stefan basically breaking off the double that he was getting there with Aramis and going back to yellow. That was a weird decision. Basically, in the end, it went 1-1, so not really anybody getting some kind of huge advantage, as we head into a very important battle. And unfortunately, what we see in here is Arcs not doing anything. They basically just running around, not shooting all that much, which is of course quite a big advantage for RFRs, and they're taking it. So a bit of micro finally working for Aramis. A bit better than what was happening just a bit before. And if they can keep the pressure, RFRs, then this could be, well, kind of tough for Arcs to actually come back from. On the other side, Maxi having upper hand against Bullet have to be said a bit at this point. Can't even speak properly anymore. As otherwise he's probably gonna be making new boats in here. Yeah, he definitely will, as the villager is waiting for, probably thinking that he could be building extra dock, which did not happen in the end. But everybody is advancing through Castle Ages just now. It's gonna be Aramis, Maxi, Spaden, and well, that's so far interestingly it. Would be definitely liking RFRs to advance a bit more, because right now they're gonna be giving the reins to Arcs quite definitely, especially since Maxi is the one who will be advancing through Castle Age quite soon, and he is doing a good job on the left side, as apparently, oh well, all three RFRs are right now on one spot, and they could be picking quite good fights at this point, so Arcs need to be careful. Yeah, Aramis, you need to come back. So is, of course, Stefan. He needs to be coming to the left side as well, as this is right now heading into a very interesting battle. And with the Castle Ages sitting exactly as they are, I'm really looking at significant advantage for Argentinians. They definitely should be using that, and since we are on a map that we are at, it's gonna be very hard actually for RFRs to run away from any kind of bad engagement, which is something that they will want to do. But looking how Bullet is just now clicking into Castle Age, and unfortunately Dark Device is still not advancing yet, just now clicking, as the Viking therefore the most important player. This is heading into interesting directions that might be having game-reaching consequences. That's the word that I was actually looking for and just couldn't remember at all. There's something orange on the left. I'm still still seeing something orange, but apparently it's just a bit of a, yeah, a bit of a part of the map. Kind of dry patch or something. So nothing really all that unusual. And here's Spaden definitely getting very good fight. But with those orange boats right now switching as well, this is going to be turning into, I'm not thinking a really good battle for RFRs. They should be probably trying to run, because this is definitely not what they want to do. Especially right next to the docks of exactly Maxi. If it was next to the docks of, for example, Stefan, it could have been better. But next to Maxi, who is producing the strongest boats right now, of course, for Arcs, this is quite scary for them. And well, Arcs are definitely heading into Quite a decisive advantage on the water. Quite decisive indeed. And also looking on the right, a few boats in here as the wall has been finished and even reinforced right now by Dark Levi's. As he's probably recognizing that he doesn't want to be surprised, and maybe is also recognizing that the water is not exactly going all that great for them. It's not really lost yet, but it seems to be kinda heading that way. And let's see what's actually gonna be ensuing from there. So far we see that actually Bullet is trying to safeguard as many boats as possible, running into the furthest corner of the map. Yeah, having a look at this one shorefish on the left side and maybe even on the wolf in there. And of course this is a good idea because it will give him exactly enough time to come back, get rid of all of this, and potentially maybe even join into the battle in the middle, which is definitely not going all that great for RFRs because the numbers just don't add up. They just don't add up for them all that much, but it might be changing. Because right now all three RFRs are in the castle age and Stefan is still not even advancing. Curiously enough, let's switch into his point of view. He's getting there, but still he's gonna be way too late. So he needs to kill as many boats as possible here. Oh, that's damn unlucky right now for Dark Levi's, but yeah. That's how it actually plays. How water battles play out on a map like this, and that was exactly well played by Ark. So he was basically forced into that kind of bad engagement, so he lost all the army, even though he just advanced and just upgraded into the war galleys. And this is actually very important victory for Argentinians. Very important victory indeed, because basically Yellow lost everything. Right now there's gonna be a bit of a chance for Bullet to maybe break through, but since Orange is not needed on the right side at all, he's probably even gonna be joined by a few allies. It seems like that Aramis is already sending boats to the left side. This is gonna be very hard for the Philosopher, aka Bullet, to actually deal with. Yeah, it should be fairly easy battle right now for Maxi, because he's simply having the numbers. Yeah, it seems to be going very well for him. Let's switch into the middle, where there is an attempt, of course, by Aramis to even push forward. So this is at this point basically water one, it seems. There don't seem to be all that many chances for actually some kind of significant comeback, especially with the castle age for Stefan coming back. Let's switch into Dark Levi's to have a look. How many boats he's having there? About 9 at this point, about 9-10, that's not bad. If he actually ejects right about now, exactly, he's gonna be still killing him, and exactly at a very crucial moment, as Stefan is just looking to safeguard them. Basically the same as Bullet was trying to do a bit before, or other Bullet. Dark Levi's, oh, transport. Really? Okay, that's fun. So this is basically telling us that Argentinians are feeling comfortable and basically expecting that the water is done. Well, it's not really that done yet, as there's gonna be a bit of fight to be had. But this transport boat, where is it actually gonna be coming? Potentially here. This could be quite easy to actually get through. With Stefan being Han, he could be producing a few horses here and there. Right now, is there gonna be something stopping him? Spaden is nowhere near. Okay, so this is gonna be a full-on secret. RFRs are not gonna be aware of this. Yeah, they have absolutely no idea what's going on. So unfortunately for them, they won't see this. And well, the water advantage right off the bat being used for something pretty important. And let's see what's gonna be following. I'm really expecting just stables. Some barracks and stables and whatnot, as Bullet is basically trying to run away yet again. But does he have enough reinforcements waiting? No, he doesn't. Okay, so the water on the left branch is also done. Bullet is right now gone. Bullet is right now gone as well, and that's gonna be resulting into the barracks in there. And quite quick attempt, basically right now by Arks, to close the game as fast as possible, which is not a bad idea. Coinage coming for Aramis, so that's gonna be full-on sling switch for him. At this point we will be expecting, which makes kinda plenty sense, because the Vikings are not really useful in this scenario. And if he can fully sling into Stefan as the Han, yeah, you can kinda guess what's gonna happen. That's gonna be Paladins fairly soon, all over the enemies, and that is gonna be working quite fine. Okay, so that's what's gonna happen on the middle, whereas on the right side, so far nothing all that much. I'm really waiting for some kind of sneaky dogs at the back and trying to basically land in there. That's basically like the next step on a map like this. You can see already nicely prepared for this is Maxi, as he's placing the outposts in there so that he sees exactly something like that happening. The same is gonna be happening from red, but oh well, careful. Careful, because the boats are still there and they probably not going to be coming anywhere nearby. Problem for Bullet is of course pretty big, because if the Imperial Age hits and we are gonna be seeing Cannon Galleon, this is gonna be in range. This TC as well, so the positions of the TCs are not exactly that hugely useful. It's actually gonna be backfiring quite significantly, I'm afraid, for him. As well, the water is right now being done with, and yeah, Dark Device is the basically last man standing. And he's gonna be, of course, the last man to go to the depths of the sea. So we're gonna be switching a full, or rather seeing a full-on switch on the land. All those houses in some kind of column or way into the middle of Spaden's base. Of course, the stables are coming up. And I was looking at the economies. 58, 78, 66 for Stefan and his teammates. And for the opponents, 56, 87, 88 and 77. So actually they're booming very hard. RFRs are booming very hard. So let's just not be all that sure that this is gonna be it. That's gonna be deciding the game. I'm not entirely certain that it actually will be. Especially since nobody else is advancing into some kind of extra ages. How's it looking with this thing then? Let's check. There is gonna be only Aramis into full-on Stefan. Okay. Exactly what we have seen, and that is gonna be right now following up, as the boats are nicely spaced out across the shoreline, so that Maxi is not surprised by anything at all, and it's not gonna be allowing his opponent for some kind of sneaky docks. But that could definitely be possible on the right side, because Stefan Ark is definitely not doing anything like that, even though it seems like that his allies, especially Aramis, is gonna be doing it for him. As nice team player right there. As well, the knights are already here, and they're gonna be exactly in the gold in them. So nicely played. Nice, very nice, quick follow-up for Arks into the battle. And here we go, with probably the Imperial Aegis for Bullet and for Spaden being basically one of the last lines of hope for them. Because if they can boom enough, which they are definitely booming well enough, much better than their opponents actually has to be said, then they could be even putting stop to this. And then what's gonna happen? Then it's gonna be probably all about siege. And who can control those choke points? You can see already switch from Maxi, who is gonna be interested in actually advancing forward. You can see a Spaden send a few villagers here. And I would be really liking at this point with Imperial Age coming for Maxi if he was already sending villagers in. And probably even, I don't know, maybe try to basically drop a castle in there. This is quite close by to the enemy, even though he's already having a few knights here and there as well. It still could be possible, especially with the support from the water that is gonna be present in there. But yeah, well, doesn't seem to be, or yeah, scratch that. Right now he's already moving forward. It's gonna be barracks for him. For the cell, definitely making plenty of sense. It's gonna be halberdiers to counter all the horses from the Han player, and with the horses of his own ally of Stefan, that's gonna be quite a big problem, especially since Bullet is getting quite heavily raided at this point. He is having quite a nice idle villages in there, about 14, 15, 92 villages total. Yeah, the economies are really better for RFR so far, so Arks definitely need to do something a bit more than they are so far preparing. As on the right side, is there something going on? So far not, just basically Aramis nicely scouting if there something should be happening or not, as they are keeping check on the middle and hoping that basically Sling into Stefan is gonna be winning them the game. Let's see if that's gonna be true, of course. That had to be quite a nice surprise for, of course, Spaden. When he finished that outpost and saw all those military buildings in here, yeah, well, that had to be a bit of a moment like, oh crap. Yeah, of course, this is gonna be all pretty hard. He's gonna be trying to finish with the castle, but with all of this, yeah, good luck. It's gonna be kinda impossible, or rather should be impossible. But let's switch into Stefan if he actually sees that. He doesn't have all that much of a line of sight in there, to be honest. Yeah, right now he knows about it. Some first Mangurais already coming up because he's already having castle right next to the gold, protecting the gold mine. And in that case, this castle is actually gonna be a bit surprisingly coming up, and that might be a problem for Stefan because he wasn't really ready for that. Even though he's gonna be getting the cavaliers just about now, it's still not strong enough. And if this is gonna be joined by some kind of monks, we did hear them. They were on the right side, he stole one of those. Right now Dark Device, that was nicely played. Nice protection for himself. On the left though, it's not going anywhere in kinda nice directions for RFRs, as Arks are definitely right now having the upper edge. And the castle, even though it was nicely built by Spaden as a part of the protection and allowing him to produce a few more Mangurais exactly on the battlefield, yeah, it's not really gonna be coming for him all that well. So far we don't see chemistry for some kind of Cannon Galleons. Because really Cannon Galleons are gonna be a big problem for RFRs because of how they have built their economies quite close by to the water, especially goes for Bullet. on the left flank. That's gonna be quite a big problem for him. But Stefan right now joining in, and the castle coming down fairly soonish. This is probably not gonna be a nice fight for him, but all those idols, oh, that kinda hurts. They could be still fighting against all of those cavaliers from red. But yeah, so far that's not really happening, as the paladins and blast furnace are coming for Stefan just now. So castle finished on the other hand for Maxi, so that's gonna be some probably trebuchet, then a few boat raiders here and there. That's gonna be helping us well against some potential counter units to what the enemies might be actually making. Like, for example, they could be producing a few halberdiers against all those paladins. That's definitely not out of the question all that much. And I'm gonna be kinda checking if maybe the Dark Device is at least slinging a bit. So far doesn't seem so. Dark Device started probably, or started sending at least a bit in there, trying to help his teammate. But it might be just a bit too late at this point, because of course the paladins are gonna be a huge power spike. This is really curious that actually Dark Device is coming for Galeons and for chemistry. So Cannon Galeons are definitely not out of the question for him. And what is he gonna be trying to do? Oh, this. Okay. He has actually built a castle in the middle, in a bit of a place that actually the enemies didn't expect all that much. And that basically means that there's gonna be a significant chance for RFRs to actually come back, because you can see those numbers are nothing huge. And much more importantly, they're not Galeons. Arcs are not investing in Galeons anymore. You can see that this is gonna be the only Galeon on the battlefield from RFRs, and that could be changing the battle quite significantly, because I'm fairly confident that Arcs are actually thinking they can close it right about now, already killing the economy of Bullet quite significantly, or basically not only economy, they're killing him quite in full. You can see he's down to 52 villages from 100, so he basically lost half of his economy. Otherwise the echoes are not that bad though. You can see 120, 125, but the opponents are not really significantly better. 137, 107 and 88. So this is definitely not game over yet, and it could be still working for RFRs if the comeback for Dark Device is gonna be working. This still could be quite a nice game, but apparently they're not thinking so. It was a nice protection for the villagers going for the castle, trying to protect it. But yeah, GG's are gonna be called, and Arcs, through winning the water and through quite timely pushes, they basically didn't waste time whatsoever. And as soon as it looked like that the water could be won, they started transporting on the left side and into the middle, and yep, that was exactly what won them the game. This double on Bullet was just a bit too hard for him to handle. He wasn't really ready for that at all, because unfortunately Spaden just wasn't ready with his Mongol machine yet. He just wasn't ready with that yet. So let's check into the achievements. That's the first game going then for Arcs, and they are leading in this best of 5. 1-0. Okay, so Stefan Arc is at best score. Well, he was slung, so it's kinda skewed. But it was just overall nice team play by Arcs. RFRs definitely did have their moments in there as well. But unfortunately, the left battlefield between Maxi and Bullet was just problematic from the very start. And that kinda didn't help, even though it wasn't the reason why Arcs actually won the water. They just made the better decisions and kinda proved that they are experts on waters. They just knew what they were doing. Well, right now we're gonna be switching into the home map of course, Run Forest Run. GG.